So am I audible properly, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. That
Hare Krishna. So before I today we have Bhagavad Gita 1.30. So before starting, let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the slok is Nacha Shakno Meva Vastutam Brahmativ Chame Manah Nimittani Cha Pashyami Vipritani Keshava. So let's study the purport. Due to his impatience, Arjun was unable to stay on the battlefield and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhavam Divyatibhami Shetasyat. Bhagavad 11.2.37. Such a fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjun envisioned only painful rivers in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over foe. The word nimittani vipritani are significant. When a man sees only frustrations in his expectations, he thinks, why I am here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will. One's self interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditional soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that in his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. So, before beginning to this explanation, let's understand the context. The context was when the battle is about to start. Arjun says, just to have overview of the battle, the causes of the battle, he asks Krishna to take his chariot in the middle of the battlefield where he can see both the sides. He can see his guru, he can see his brothers, and then he will make a further decision accordingly. So when Krishna goes there, he sees lots and lots of his own brothers, his own father figures, Bhishma Pitama, his Guru Dronacharya, all are standing in the opponent side as his enemy. After seeing this, Arjun becomes very impatient. He becomes very impatient and he starts to lose hope. His In the previous verse we have seen how his Gandiv is slipping from his hand. He is not able to make his decision. He is very impatient. So in this shlok, what is saying the Arjun says, it's the statement of the Arjun that he is telling that he is unable to stand here. He is forgetting his identity. His mind is very in a very confused state. He is unable to process what to do, where to do, and how to do it. In general, he is very much confused. He further suspects the probability of misfortune, the probability of something bad will happen. So this is what the context and the meaning of this shloka says. So what happens in our life too? What happens that whenever we are in a difficult situation, we get confused. Suppose we are preparing. Suppose take an example of a student. A student is confused before his exam. Before that is his battle. In this Kali Yuga, there is no battlefield like that time. So we have our own examinations, we have our family, we have the society. So whenever we do any important work, due to the difficulty of the tasks, the works, our minds gets totally confused. But this first, let's understand the problem, then we will go to the solution and how this whole scenario is related with this shlok. We will get the whole relationship and context. So due to this difficulty, what happens, the minds get confused and the confusion further leads to more and more confusion, which can eventually lead to depressions, mindlessness, and that is really seen in this today's world. So this is the problem that is facing. So see, if someone like Arjun, who is so close and so dear to Krishna, if he can face such things, then we as a mere individual and humans of this Kali Yuga are prone to such kinds of things. But this is the problem. But what is the cause of this problem? So if we see Arjun and if we see ourselves in this world, the problems are similar, but and accordingly the causes are two. The cause is Ashakti. Ashakti, or you can say attachment in other words. What happens? We are attached to materialistic things. We are attached to our sons, our family, our friends. So in this material world, we are attached to everyone we see and we meet in this material world. We never know who are they in their previous life, or who will what is their actual relationship between their two atmas. They are just attached because they have met the individuals, the sick person next to him in this material world. Similarly, Arjun, he is attached to his guru, he is attached to his Bhishma Pitama, he is attached to his brothers. So he finds himself so attached that is unable to concentrate and focus on his duty. That is real karma. That is his own karma. So what happens in our daily to daily lives, what we feel and what we see, we get attachment. We are not attached to the supreme God, the Krishna. Whenever we get detached from the Lord Krishna and we get attached from this materialistic world, this is the condition that rightly Arjun is facing. He is unable to stand here. Standing here means he is unable to perform his duties. It was his duty to stand here and fight, but he is saying, I am unable to stand here. So eventually, if we are detached from God, if we are not connecting with God through the mind, through the body, through the soul, you will not be able to stand, means you will not be able to perform your duty. Your mind will be confused. So it is very, very important to focus only on Krishna. So this was the first thing. Proceeding further, we see the plan, God's plan. We have always ignored the God's plan. Here Arjun is thinking only about the winning. In the later slok, we will find that Arjun is suspecting that what he will gain after winning this war. Even if he win the war, he will lose lots of things. He will lose his family members. There will be bloodshed, his own Sainiks. So he is thinking from his point of view, not the point of view of the supreme God. So similarly, when we are doing our own duty, we are thinking ourselves as someone from our perspective. So Arjun is not fighting for himself or for his family, or he's just doing his karma. And the karma is for the betterment and the upliftment of the society, so that the dharma can be re-established in the world. So we should not be focused or concerned about what should I do, what will be the future. Like for example, here Krishna suspects and he thinks that there can be misfortune in the future. He's focusing on future, the outcomes. That's not the case. The outcome, the future is not in our control. Whether it will be fortune or misfortune, that's not for the Arjun to think. That's not for us to think. It's on the God of. It's on the hands of the Krishna. It's on the hand of the Lord. Accordingly, when we are doing the work, see, what I'm trying to correlate is the Arjun and us. The Arjun, we have to think Arjun as the questions that pops in our head, and Krishna the God. So we cannot directly ask questions to Lord Krishna, and he will not answer it, like obviously. So think as our questions being asked by the Arjun from Krishna, and Krishna is accordingly giving the answers that is still relevant today. Like this attachment is still relevant today. Whenever something bad happens in our family or in our life, we just think about the future. We think about the consequence. Oh, I have done this, I have missed the deadline, what will be the future, there will be misfortune, there is no gain, harm. But all things are materialistic. This doesn't hold true, because you are just doing your karma, and the future, the prediction, the result is not in your hand. Okay, so here the first lesson that we learn is detachment from the materials world, because all this materials world, our smartphones, our laptops, even our materials knowledge that we are having, these are all temporary. Okay, so this will not hold true in a very, very long run. What the permanent is, the permanent is our own Krishna, the love of the Krishna, the bhakti that will be forever with us, forever with our soul. Even if our body will leave us, but not the soul. So accordingly, we will forget our this life. We will forget all the materialist thing. Um, Take an example, your friend who is a friend in your life may not be later your friend, but Krishna will always be there. So accordingly, we should remove that attachment from this material world, and we should focus on something which is supernatural, that is something which is beyond this materialistic thing, that is Lord Krishna. If we do so, uh, we will not be in the gloves of misfortune or fear of future, and we will be unable, or and there will not be case that you will be unable to perform your duty. So just perform the duties without thinking about the result, without the future or probable misfortune. Just perform your duties according to your karma and dharma, and you will succeed. That's what Krishna says. So this was all my understanding regarding this shlok. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.